Okay, so I'm not really sure what this is going to be, but I know that it's been hard for a lot of people out there, especially people that can't get what they need from the medical community. Several years ago, I was diagnosed with C-PTSD, which is complex post-traumatic stress disorder, depression, and anxiety. For me, that was kind of a hard bullet to swallow. Took me a while to get help. But once I did get help, it got better. Definitely got better. My diagnosis came from a drug addiction and a bad relationship. And I was trying to improve, not just for myself, but for my miracle of a child. I didn't realize that I could have PTSD. People think PTSD, war vet. It's not so. Unfortunately, C-PTSD is not completely recognized by medical professionals. It exists, but it's not like PTSD. It's complex PTSD is certain situations. A lot of people have it and they don't even know because they were never diagnosed with it. Example, you have a really bad car accident and you recover physically. You think you've recovered emotionally, but you have these anxieties and fears of perhaps a specific type of car or vehicle of some sort, or certain sounds get your heart racing. That would be a CPTSD moment. Triggers, boy, anything. It can be anything. Mine were a lot of situations that I would find myself in, and it would make me, I wouldn't say black out, but if I had a really bad, what I called episodes, I wouldn't remember, I would lose 5-10 minutes. Sometimes it would be like really, really bad. And it was like my brain shut down, and all I remember is like feeling like I was in this dark little box and there was no doors and there was no sound, no light, just complete dark. I had a lot of fear of being in public with a lot of people. It took me longer to do like regular shopping for a while. For a long time, I found listening to music would help me with public interaction, so that helped. The other thing that helped me too was I developed I guess a tick. If I'm in a nervous situation anytime now, You're talking 3+ years after being diagnosed and whatnot. I click. I kind of like, I'll do that. And a lot of times I don't even realize I'm doing it. But once I finally realize that I'm doing it, I'll be like, okay, we're okay. This is okay. This isn't bad. And then with the depression and anxiety on top of it, a lot of people don't understand that you have the PTSD, but along with the anxiety and depression, they all feed into each other. It's a horribly vicious cycle. So horribly vicious cycle, because you're depressed because you have these fears, and these fears are brought more on by your anxieties, which sit there and will encourage a trigger to have, like I said, what I call an episode. And it really is. It's a very, very vicious cycle. Now, I have found recently that I'm having a lot harder time sleeping again. My anxiety levels have gone up. I do have a very large network of support, which is great, but some people don't have that. And for a while, I felt like I didn't have that. So that sucked. But I was determined to be better. And that's honestly the first step for anybody that has depression, anxiety, and even PTSD, is you gotta ask for the help. It's hard to do. It is so hard to do because you want to be able to do it on your own, and your mind tells you you should be able to do this on your own. And not always. Unfortunately, you gotta ask for help. I mean, we tell kids as they're growing up, don't be afraid to ask for help. But somewhere along the line, it comes to a point where people stop asking for help. And it took, like I said, it took me a very long time to ask for that help. And I was to a point where I realized that I was just getting sicker and sicker and sicker. I actually got to a point where I was in bed all the time. It was like 3 months. My mental illnesses actually made me physically ill, like in pain ill. I have messed up my body in the sense that now I have basically a lactose intolerance. I have to watch my dairy intake because it messed me up so bad. It was horrible, absolutely horrendous. But that's what your mind can do to your body. And I realized it wasn't doing myself any good. I wasn't doing my son any good. And I didn't want that anymore. It wasn't a way of living. I mean, you've got this young child that you're his or her world, and they'll come in and they're like, "Can you play something with me?" Maybe for a little bit. Maybe for a little bit. I look back at that, and that's hard. And this is another one of the issues with PTSD. I gotta calm down, because that's the other thing. Like I said, with the PTSD and the anxiety and the depression, it makes things like that, something so small, just a few words, so much more intense, which really sucks, because it's like, you get this tiny little seed of a thought, like a grain of sand thought, and it can just totally screw up your entire day. And this has been happening a lot to me lately. You got, we had the whole COVID thing hit, and so there was, I started relying on my social interaction with being able to go places and do things, and I can't not like it was. And then it's really built up in the last month. Right before Christmas, I had a car accident. I just bought a new car. And I had it for less than 3 weeks. And I totaled the car. I'm okay. Everybody was fine. Nobody was seriously injured, which I'm grateful. My son wasn't with me. I was alone, so that's even better, So, yeah, that was an experience. And now I'm going through all kinds of stuff as far as the accident goes. I've got stuff through my insurance, through DMV, through the courts. It's a lot. And it's just that level of anxiety is just slowly building up. And it hurts, because how do you get through it? How do you get through it? I wake up every day, and that is amazing. I'm grateful for that every day. And I'm not highly religious, honestly, but I'm very grateful that, I'm still here. I'm still here. I have a job. I have a roof over my head. I have another vehicle. I was able to pull that one off. I got, the amount my car was worth. I was able to be able to get another vehicle. So I'm back on the road. I am healthy. But it seems like I'm having a harder time because my stress levels are up so high. So I'm worried. I haven't been on an antidepressant in almost 2 years. I think it's been almost 2 years since I've been on an antidepressant and been going to therapy. So I guess I decided to do this because I've got to talk to somebody. Maybe somebody will listen. Maybe somebody will understand. I mean, I have a feeling, some people are going to be like, just get over it. It doesn't work like that. I hate to tell you, it doesn't work like that. I wish it did. God, I wish it did. Just to get over it. It would be amazing to just, yeah, whatever. Oh, it's a bill. I have most of it. I'll have the rest next week. It doesn't work like that. For people that have the C-PTSD and anxiety and depression, and it don't work like that at all. It's sad that a lot of people don't understand that. And like I said, I'm very fortunate. I have a great support system. When I found out that I had this issue, I didn't tell anybody for a while. They knew I was going to therapy, and they knew, I was diagnosed with depression, but it took a little while to tell people, I got C-PTSD and try to help them understand what it is. But once I got to that point, I did. I got really lucky, and I had a lot of people willing to help me. I mean, I'd be just felt alone, and I would just want to cry. And it would be for, like, what would seem like no reason at all. It just happened. It just let loose, and your eyes are red, your face is swollen, and you can't turn it off, unfortunately. But, you know, I think doing this will help me. I mean, I feel a little bit better now, just starting this. I haven't decided if I'm actually going to share this. You know, in the back of my mind, oh, you're gonna put yourself out there, you're gonna get people being rude and nasty and saying hurtful things. And at the same time, what if there's that one person that needs that little bit of compassion and understanding that they're not finding? And I can give that to them just by saying, I understand. I get it. It's not fun. It's hard. Confusing. Tiring. Sometimes it feels like you're just completely crushed. And I get that. I get that a lot. And it sucks to be alone with it. And like I said, I know people out there, they may not be as lucky as I am to have the support system like I do. So, if there is anybody out there that needs an ear, or, you know, has questions, you know, if you know somebody that you think might be suffering that way, that might be hurting, and you just don't understand, you can ask. It doesn't hurt to ask. Don't be afraid to ask if you think you have somebody you know that's hurting in that way. Don't be afraid to ask them what's wrong, and listen to them. Just listen to them, because that... And don't try to downplay what they're feeling. Oh boy, that's a big, I wouldn't say a no-no, but it makes it feel so futile and disconcerting for someone with these issues to take something that you might find small and insignificant and don't really mean much, but to that person at that particular time, it's huge. It doesn't matter. It could be something very tiny, very, very tiny to most people. Don't do it. Not right now. Just give me a couple more minutes.
Come on first. Come on.
Kids, they get in the way. So
Okay.
I will...
I'll leave you alone.
If you got questions, ask.
Wait.
Maybe I'll help you through it. If I do post this. You may not see the sun, but it's there.